You have been sold a comforting myth that putting one foot in front of the other for 30 minutes a day, walking, will keep your body, joints, and brain safe as you age. The truth is harder and more useful. As a surgeon who has stood over operating tables and watched joints fail when muscles, balance, and reaction time were ignored, I tell my patients the same thing I tell my own parents. Walking is good, but it is not enough. There are simple habits, specific clinician-recommended movements you can do that protect joints, build strength, sharpen balance, and actually engage the brain in ways that walking alone does not. Neurologists and rehabilitation specialists agree that adding these targeted exercises reduces the risk of cognitive decline and helps preserve independence. It's not a promise, it's a strategy backed by research and clinical experience. Before we begin, a short note. If you have known cardiovascular disease, uncontrolled blood pressure, recent surgery, severe joint pain, a progressive neurologic condition, or you are unsure about starting a new program, please consult your physician or physical therapist. The progressions I describe include gentler regressions. Use those first. Never push through sharp pain. With that said, stay with me to the end. I'll give you 5 movements you can start today, simple regressions, progressions, and how to combine them into a daily habit that neurologists say reduces the likelihood of memory decline linked to poor cardiovascular fitness, limited challenge to the nervous system, and progressive loss of balance. If this helps, consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss the guided routines I post. I want you to picture the moments that matter. Tightening a jar lid, stepping down from a curb to meet a grandchild, turning quickly when a stray dog darts into the path. Those split seconds rely on power, coordination, and a nervous system conditioned to react. After decades in the operating room and clinic, the pattern is consistent. Patients who preserved muscle power, practiced balance under challenge, and used movements that require attention and coordination keep more independence and, importantly, maintain cognitive sharpness longer than those who relied on steady walks alone. We'll count down from 5 to 1. Each movement comes with a one-line benefit compared to walking, a short research note, clear how-to steps with tempo and progressions, a brief vignette of a patient who benefited, and a simple transition so you can move through the sequence. Start with the regressions if you're unsure. Build to the advanced versions over weeks. Aim to practice 3 to 5 times per week, gradually increasing reps, and give your brain the same workout you give your legs: attention, challenge, and novelty. 5. Chair squats. Benefit: outperform walking for knee joint protection and functional strength by training the sit-to-stand pattern that daily life demands. Research note: clinical reviews highlight that repeated sit-to-stand training improves lower limb strength and functional independence more than walking alone, particularly when done eccentrically and with progression. How to do it: sit at the front edge of a firm chair with feet hip-width apart, knees over ankles. Cross your arms over your chest or extend them forward for balance. Lean your chest slightly forward, inhale, then exhale as you stand up steadily, not fast, using power from the hips and thighs until fully upright. Pause for 1 second, then slowly sit back down over 3 to 4 seconds, controlling the descent. This slow lowering is the eccentric phase that builds tendon and muscle resilience. Do 8 to 12 repetitions for 1 set to start. Work to 2 to 3 sets as tolerated. Progression: hold a light gallon jug or book for added load. Advance to standing without using hands, then try single leg partial stands when confident. Regression: Use a higher chair, push through the arms of the chair, or perform seated leg presses, where you straighten one knee at a time while seated. Safety cue. Keep your knees aligned with your toes and stop if you feel sharp anterior knee pain. Reduce range and consult a clinician if pain persists. Patient vignette. Margaret, 68, a retired teacher, used to struggle with rising from low benches. After 3 weeks of daily chair squats, she returned to gardening with less knee stiffness and could stand from the patio bench without using her hands. Transition. Once you can stand and sit confidently, we add movement that challenges balance and reaction. So the second exercise builds on that strength and teaches your nerves to respond. 4. Step up with cognitive add-on. Benefit. Outperform simple walking by combining unilateral leg strength with an attention challenge that trains dual tasking and reaction time. Research note. Studies in geriatric rehabilitation show that unilateral stepping and multitask training improve gait stability and reduce fall risk better than walking alone. Adding a cognitive task increases neural engagement. How to do it. Use a low step. Start with a 4 to 6 inch height. Use a stair riser or a sturdy step stool. Stand facing the step with feet hip-width apart. Step up with your stronger foot, press through the heel to stand tall on the step, then bring the other foot up beside it. Pause, then step down leading with the same foot and repeat. Do 10 reps each side for 1 set. Now add a cognitive challenge. Count backward by 3s. Name items in a category, colors, fruits, or practice brief memory recall. Repeat a 2-word phrase after each set. Tempo. Step up in 1 second, stand for 1 second, step down in 1 to 2 seconds. Progression. Increase step height cautiously. Add light hand weights. Increase the complexity of the cognitive task. Serial 7s, naming words that start with a letter.
Guia de estilo e instruções para síntese de fala. Você é narrador palestrante com voz potente, forte e autoritária. O tom deve ser firme e inabalável. Contexto de continuidade. A frase anterior era 7s, naming words that start with a letter. Regression. Use a lower step, hold a railing or place a hand on a stable surface for support, or perform alternating mini step backs instead of full step ups. Safety cue. If your balance is unstable, perform the step up with a hand lightly on the wall or railing and always face the step. Patient vignette. Robert, 71, a grandfather who loved weekend hikes, worried about losing balance on uneven trails. After 4 weeks of step-ups with naming tasks, his confidence improved and his daughter noticed he navigated uneven sidewalks more steadily. Transition. Strength plus attention work are valuable, but we must also restore ankle reflexes and dynamic balance. So next is an exercise that rewires quick corrections. 3. Ankle and hip quick correction drills, reactive balance. Benefit. Outperform walking by training the rapid corrective responses that prevent stumbles and support brain-body communication. Research note. Research on reactive balance training reveals that practicing perturbations and quick corrections improves postural responses and can lower fall rates compared with endurance walking alone. How to do it? Stand with feet hip-width apart next to a sturdy surface. For the first drill, gently push your shoulders forward and backward or have a partner apply a light push to the sternum. Then recover your balance using a small step or ankle correction. Practice consciously making that correction. For an ankle drill, stand on foam or a folded towel to introduce instability. Shift your weight quickly to the forefoot, then back to the heel, then side to side, focusing on small, immediate corrections. Do 6 to 10 quick shifts per set, 2 to 3 sets. Tempo: quick initiation, less than 1 second, with deliberate recovery. Progression: practice with eyes closed for brief moments only when you are safe and accompanied. Or perform the drills while turning your head to simulate distraction. Regression: perform the drills seated, where you lift one foot and simulate corrections. Or use larger supports for hands until reflexes improve. Safety cue: start with small perturbations, avoid large unexpected pushes, practice near a wall or with someone standing nearby until you're confident. Patient vignette: Dorothy, 74, who had once stumbled on a cafe step, learned to catch herself with these small corrections. After 6 weeks, she reported fewer near misses and a calmer mind when she walked in crowds. Transition: reactive balance retrains reflexes, but to protect joints and power up movements, we also need targeted strength that builds speed. Enter power training. 2. High-velocity sit-to-stand, short-range power work. Benefit: outperform walking by restoring rapid force generation in the hips and thighs, crucial for catching yourself and for rising from chairs quickly.
Guia de estilo e instruções para a síntese de fala. Você é um narrador, palestrante com voz potente, forte e autoritária. O tom deve ser firme e inabalável. Contexto de continuidade. A frase anterior era "and bend yourself and for rising from chairs quickly". Você está no meio de uma frase-pensamento. Mantenha o ritmo e a força vocal sem quebrar a conexão. Haja como se estivesse transmitindo uma verdade fundamental. Research note: trials in older adults show that adding short bursts of high-velocity resistance or power training improves functional tasks like chair rise speed and stair climbing more than steady aerobic walking. How to do it? Begin seated at the edge of a chair. With feet flat and shoulders over hips, explode to stand as quickly as you safely can, using your arms as little as possible. Try to stand in under 1 second, then sit back down slowly over 3 to 4 seconds. Begin with 4 to 6 reps as a single set, and build to 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 10 reps. Tempo: fast concentric, stand, slow eccentric, sit. Progression: hold a light medicine ball or weighted object and perform the explosive stand. Progress to performing from a lower surface. Regression: perform a brisk stand but without explosive intent. Stand quickly but safely. Or perform half stands where you rise part way and then return. Safety cue: avoid locking the knees at the top and stop if you feel dizzy or lightheaded. If you have balance concerns, keep hands on a stable surface until your confidence grows. Patient vignette: George, 69, who enjoyed pickup basketball in his 50s, found his legs felt sluggish. After a month of short, high-velocity stands twice weekly, he climbed his basement stairs faster and reported feeling more spry in day-to-day tasks. Transition: we've strengthened the muscles, trained reaction time, and added cognitive load. The final exercise ties everything to the brain: balance, attention, and slow, mindful movement that encourages neuroplasticity. 1. Tai Chi with progressive complexity. Benefit: outperform walking by simultaneously improving balance, executive function, dual tasking, and neuroplastic adaptation through coordinated, mindful movement. Research note: Neurology and gerontology reviews consistently list Tai Chi among top practices for reducing fall risk, improving balance, and supporting cognitive processes associated with memory and executive function. It combines rhythm, attention, and graded motor learning in ways that pure walking does not. How to do it? How to do it simply. Begin with a simple sequence of movements: shifting weight from one foot to the other, slow, controlled arm openings, and a gentle turn. Stand with feet shoulder-width apart. Inhale as you shift weight to your right foot, lifting the left heel slightly. Exhale as you slowly transfer weight to the left foot, rolling through the ankle, hip, and knee, and extend your arms as if embracing a large beach ball. Make the movement continuous, deliberate, and attentive to breath. Practice for 10 to 15 minutes per session to start. Progression: learn longer sequences and integrate small single-leg stances. Add mild cognitive tasks like recalling a short phrase with each form or counting breaths. Attend a group class to add social and guided complexity. Regression: perform seated Tai Chi movements, focus on arm patterns, breath, and awareness, or practice simple weight shifts with hand support. Cues for benefit: move slowly enough that you must pay attention. The key benefit is not speed, but controlled, attentive shifting that trains balance and cognitive control. Safety cue: practice near a chair or counter the first few times. Stop if you feel dizzy and consult a clinician if you have vestibular symptoms. Patient vignette: Barbara, 77, had begun to worry about forgetfulness. She started Tai Chi twice weekly and practiced short sequences at home. 6 months later, she reported clearer focus and fewer nights waking with anxious thoughts. And cognitive screening showed modest improvement in executive tasks. Changes her neurologist attributed to combined physical and attentional training. Transition to synthesis: these 5 habits: chair squats, stepped dual tasking, reactive balance drills, short-range power work, and Tai Chi, cover the spectrum your brain and body need: strength, unilateral control, reflexive correction, quick force generation, and integrated attention. They do something walking rarely does. They repeatedly challenge the nervous system to plan, correct, and adapt. If you want to combine these into a daily habit you can start today, here is a simple template. Begin with chair squats to wake the legs, 1 to 2 sets of 8 to 12. Follow with ankle and hip quick corrections, 1 to 2 sets of 6 to 10 shifts. Do a set of step-ups with a brief cognitive task, 1 set per side. Perform 4 to 6 high-velocity stands as a power primer. And finish with a 10-minute Tai Chi cool-down focusing on mindful weight shifts and breath. On days when you feel fatigued, reduce sets and prioritize quality of movement over quantity. Aim for 3 non-consecutive strength power sessions per week with balance work included each day in short bursts. Tai Chi or a similar mindful movement practice 2 to 3 times weekly deepens cognitive engagement. I want to be clear about what the evidence supports and what it doesn't. No single movement guarantees you will never experience memory decline. Cognitive health is multifactorial. Sleep, vascular health, social engagement, diet, and genetics all play parts. But randomized trials, systematic reviews, and consensus statements from major institutions indicate that exercise programs combining strength, balance, and cognitive challenge lower fall risk and support executive functions and memory more effectively than walking alone.
Full citations are available through reputable sources such as major medical centers and peer-reviewed journals. If you pursue a program, ask your clinician which local resources or classes they recommend. You may be wondering how quickly you will notice changes. Expect some functional differences, feeling steadier, rising more easily, in weeks to a few months with consistent practice. Cognitive gains, particularly in attention and executive control, emerge over months and are most likely when physical training is paired with mentally engaging practices like Tai Chi or dual-task exercises.
Be patient with yourself. The brain rewires in small steps. Your consistency matters more than any heroic session. Let me offer a few practical tips that make this habit stick. First, anchor these movements to something you already do daily. For example, perform chair squats right after your morning coffee, or step-ups after brushing your teeth. Second, keep a simple checklist by your chair. Today's mini circuit and the number of reps. Small wins build momentum. Third, recruit someone, a partner, friend, or caregiver who will do the sequence with you or check in. Social accountability improves adherence and mood. Fourth, make safety your North Star. If you are dizzy, have chest pain, or experience new numbness or weakness, stop and seek medical advice. There are a few common questions I hear from patients. Is walking pointless? No, walking remains an excellent cardiovascular habit, supports mood, and is low barrier. Treat walking as the background rhythm of activity, and use these 5 targeted exercises as the focused strength and neural training that walking seldom provides. How long before I can advance? If you practice 3 times a week, expect meaningful progression in strength and balance at about 4 to 8 weeks. Can I do these at home? Yes, every exercise here requires little or no equipment. A sturdy chair, a low step or stair, a folded towel, and a small weight or household object will do. Some of you may fear starting because you worry about falling during practice. Start with regressions and the support of a stable surface. Use a partner or a rail. Many clinicians run short supervised sessions to ensure safe form for the first few tries. If possible, have your first session with a physical therapist or a supervised class to master technique. I want to return to the image with which I began, those small moments that define independence. The ability to catch yourself, to rise quickly, to step aside and regain equilibrium. These are not accidental. They are the sum of muscular power, practiced reflexes, and a brain accustomed to planning with attention. Neurologists increasingly emphasize exercise that invites the brain to work. Dual-task stepping, attentive weight shifts, and movement sequences that require memory and sequencing. Those are precisely the habits embedded in the 5 exercises I've shared. If you choose one actionable step for today, do this. Perform 2 sets of chair squats and 3 minutes of slow Tai Chi weight shifts. That small double hit targets both strength and neural engagement, and it takes less than 10 minutes. Repeat it 4 or 5 days this week. Track how you feel. Do you notice less stiffness when you stand? Is your balance less wobbly when you step down? Those subjective signals matter. I'll close with what I tell patients in my office. Think of these movements as daily maintenance for both the body and the brain. Guia de estilo e instruções para síntese de fala. Início das instruções. Você é um narrador palestrante com voz potente, forte e autoritária. O tom deve ser firme e inabalável. Contexto de continuidade. A frase anterior era: They are not a firewall against every change that comes with aging, but they are an evidence-based, practical habit you can build into ordinary life that materially lowers risk, improves function, and enhances the neural networks that support memory. If this message helped you, subscribe and hit the bell so you can access guided routines and progressions I post. Leave a comment telling where you are watching from and how many minutes you currently walk each day. Those numbers help shape the next set I design for people in your shoes. One final important reminder. If you have a recent cardiac event, uncontrolled medical condition, or significant musculoskeletal limitations, consult your clinician before starting these exercises. Progress slowly, respect pain signals, and seek supervised instruction when uncertain. The work of preserving independence and mental sharpness is cumulative, and it begins with small, consistent habits. Make today's 2 small moves a promise to yourself rather than a chore. Do the chair squats and the slow weight shifts as if you were tending a small garden. Brief, regular, and with attention. Over weeks, those tiny roots of habit will hold you steadier on harder days. If this guidance helped, subscribe and hit the bell so you'll get the guided progressions and short videos that make these routines easy to follow. Leave a comment with where you're watching from and how many minutes you walk now. Those details shape the next set I prepare. And again, if you have recent cardiac or other major health concerns, check with your clinician before advancing. Keep it small. Keep it steady. Your independence is formed by the accumulation of ordinary, intentional days.